Tonight, a KHLU investigation that has already spurred nationwide recalls of thousands of toys. It's also making headlines.
And that's because the 11 News defenders are on the case of toxic lead in your children's toys.
Investigative reporter Mark Greenblatt wants to help you find out if your children are exposed to this invisible poison.
Lucy, Greg, what is a parent to do? You've seen recall after recall, and the federal government seems to have dropped the ball. So how do you know what to trust, what to buy, maybe even what to throw away? Well, with the holiday season right around the corner, we went to work.
As you can see, Max Stenger has both her hands
I'm happy
and her heart full with twins Sandy and Emily Ann. But she says,
I worry. Everything's in their mouth, and their brain is growing rapidly at this stage.
so, like a lot of parents, she doesn't need this.
You have heard about the recent recalls of millions of toys.
The new recall involves 775,000 products.
This time, there's a new sense of urgency in where the lead paint has been found.
Ask a doctor.
There is no safe level of lead. None. Zero.
And the news isn't good either,
It's the invisible poison.
especially for children, says pediatrician Lynette Mazer.
It is a neurotoxin that affects your brain.
Lead and toys don't mix.
How many points of IQ are you willing to take away from your children?
It's alarming to hear all the news reports, the recalls, and you wonder, is it my house?
And these days, a lot of parents are wondering the same thing. How likely are you really to end up buying a toy that you may end up regretting? Well, the 11 News defenders decided to take a look at lead in children's toys by going on our own shopping spree.
So we hit the town, driving all over Houston, to well-known major retailers, to mid-level stores, and to specialized toy shops, buying toys a child between 3 and 7 years of age might use, and ended up with any kid's dream, more than 100 toys. Then
I've got a handheld device.
we used this. It looks like a toy, but it's anything but.
The front of this instrument where the x-rays come out
It's called XRF technology
is going to be directly in contact with the toy
and is widely used for detecting lead.
and give us a display that will actually indicate the concentration.
Is this as reliable as what happens in the labs?
Yes,
So we went to work
This one's clear.
with this man at the
the
helm,
whole thing passes.
Raymond Lindeen, an expert who teaches companies how to use these expensive devices.
Next toy.
The testing took hours.
You seem concerned right now.
Yeah, it's very alarming.
Then we checked our results, doing a second test using another
We
gun.
let it go to the full 120 seconds.
And the results? When we come back, we'll tell you what we found, what the stores and toy companies had to say about it, along with the government and experts.
That's a huge problem.
Welcome back. Now, we just showed you how we bought more than 100 toys from stores all over Houston and then used sophisticated lead testing to find out just how safe they are. Now, the results.
As a result of our testing, we discovered 9 toys a parent might worry about. First up, from Walmart, this 12-piece dinosaur set. Now, one federal law limits lead in the paint on children's toys at 600 parts per million. But in the total substance of one dinosaur, we found more than 7,000 parts per million.
This is definitely a toy that should not be on the shelf.
But from KB Toys, we found a similar set, the Dinosaur Family Collection, with one lizard having more than 5,000 parts per million, and another having an even higher amount. Next, the 99-cent only store is where we bought toys 3 and 4, these cars and this playset, and found over 5,000 parts per million lead on one car and 1,000 on another. And the playset, a painted piece, also had 1,000 ppm of lead. And toy number 5 was a surprise in testing. From Target, a Thomas the Train music toothbrush.
You would think that on items that are going to be put into their mouth, that they certainly wouldn't have anything on there.
And yet,
Picking something up.
Can we take it apart?
and inside found electronics and,
We see very quickly that there is lead.
in fact, more than 3,000 parts per million of lead.
Anything that goes in a kid's mouth I wouldn't want even something inside to have lead in it.
And in our remaining toys, from Toys R Us came these, Buys 6 and 7, the Elite Operations 8-inch Combatant Squad, and the Barracuda Copter with pieces containing 5,000 and 6,000 ppm of lead. And by number 8, this Curious George Fireman. That kissable face, it contains more than 7,000 parts per million of lead. And finally, from Target comes toy number 9, this yellow Go Diego Go backpack with a wallet and even a shoulder strap, both reading more than 4,000 parts per million of lead.
Toys are supposed to bring children joy, not pose them serious health risks.
Rachel Weintraub is a toy expert with the Consumer Federation of America. She says when it comes to lead in toys, our testing
Illustrates how pervasive these problems are.
Do those toys need to be pulled off the shelves?
Yeah, those toys should definitely be recalled. There's no reason why children should have lead in their toy boxes.
So we shared our findings with the government, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission.
We will be happy to look at any information that we receive that helps us to identify a hazard with a product.
Is it potentially a sign, though, that there's a lot more work ahead that still needs to be done?
I can tell you that there will be more recalls from products that contain lead.
Something we already knew. That's because we also shared our findings with the stores and companies that sold or made our toys. That dinosaur kit from Walmart, just one day after we called, Walmart pulled the product nationwide. And the dinosaurs from KB Toys, the store has stopped further shipments. Those race cars and playset, the 99-cent only store issued a national stop sale of those items pending further testing. And remember this Thomas the Train toothbrush where we found lead inside?
You're going to change the way that the inside of that toothbrush is made.
Yes.
He's Barnabas Chen, manufacturer of the item.
Take the lead out.
Take the lead out. Totally out.
Out of the inside electronics of the toothbrush, because despite believing it poses no risk.
But I'm willing to go an extra mile for the safety of the kids.
And Toys R Us, they tested those Elite Operations war toys, confirmed our findings, and yesterday recalled 16,000 toys nationwide. And the Curious George Fireman, Toys R Us has pulled it from their shelves, and the maker, the Marvel Company, has announced a nationwide stop sale of the doll and other similar models at all toy stores. Then there's our last item, the Go Diego Go backpack. The Target stores sold us ours, but say they can't comment on our test results. But they do say they require their vendors to meet and comply with all applicable laws regarding product safety. Likewise, Global Designs, the manufacturer, says the Diego backpack was tested using an independent laboratory that determined it complies with federal safety regulations. It also says that the XRF technology we use is just a screening tool and subject to great variation and interference. Finally, the manufacturer says any story implying the backpack is hazardous to children is false.
Now, you should know that another toy company had a reaction to our testing. X Concepts makes this playset that you saw in our piece, but they say that their independent lab shows no high level of lead in the toy. Finally, the lead readings that we found can be due to lead in the paint or lead in the plastic that the toy is made of. And there is some controversy about whether the federal government has a tough enough standard, or some say a good standard, for the lead in the plastic. Now, if we want to give you another look, or if you want to take another look at the toys that our testing turned up, go to our website at khou.com. There you'll also find a list of the toys that passed our testing and more statements from the toy companies. I'm Mark Greenblatt, 11 News Defenders.